straight home now.
Oh, there you are, Sid. Thanks so much for coming. The, ruins are just over there, as is the creature I told you about, I'd imagine. Would you mind?
Of course. I'll be right back. Anybody home? This must be our unwanted visit. Nice try. Too slow. The things I do for you, Mid.
Sid! Oh, thank goodness you're safe.
You shouldn't have any trouble now.
Indeed. Well, don't let us keep you. We'll, see that everything is transported safely back to the hideaway.
All right. I'll let Mid know you're on your way.
Mid might need some help tidying up that workshop.
If I don't come up with something soon.
Mid. Helena has recovered the material for the helm. She'll be along shortly.
Excellent. Another job well done.
And just one remaining.
Right. Right, the shielding. This one's a bit of a bugger.
How so?
The plating's enough to stop the engines going pop, but those things will still be spitting out enough fire to set the rest of the ship ablaze. Which is why you need proper shielding. A prison for the dragon's breath that's blazing away inside. I thought a triple thick layer of tempered steel might do it. Or more of the stuff that the Fallen use, but they'd both be too heavy. The helm and the plating are bulky enough as it is. Add any more weight and the whole ship would be at the bottom of the briny before we'd even started. I need something light. But I've racked my brains and I just can't think what would do it.
Well, if I were in need of obscure knowledge, I know whose counsel I would seek. Hippocrates.
Tomes? I've got all the details. Can you take this to him? See what he makes of it?
Right away.
We're seeing troops amassing at every border crossing.
Ugh, I'm never drinking again.
Hippocrates.
For you, Clive?
Well, actually, it's for Mid. Could you take a look at this?
Shielding for a mithril engine? Whatever will that girl think of next? And what are these notes around the edges?
She has some specific requirements for the materials. The shielding needs to be able to resist extreme heat on the inside, and yet remain cool enough on the outside not to set the ship alight, while also being light enough not to sink it. As you can imagine, she's struggling to find anything that meets her needs.
I see.
I wondered if you might know of a solution, or if you might be able to search the records for one.
Perhaps it is not a different material she requires, but a different approach.
What do you mean?
Consider the lake we have made our home. Its blighted waters eat away far more quickly than fresh water or even brine, at timber and steel alike. And yet, we have made a home here from those very materials nonetheless.
But Bardolph must varnish every board twice over to keep it from rotting. An obelisk... I see.
Early Gregorian his before the Dragoon.
So if we could recreate...
It might be applied to some material or other in order to provide the protection Mid requires. I shall speak to them and see what wisdom they might have to offer. If you would be so kind as to procure the necessary ingredients, I shall discuss the specifics of how it might be most effectively put to use with our two friends. The knowledge of the past may yet prove useful to we of the modern era.
Thank you, Hippocrates. And since you're asking others to help you, perhaps I should too.
So you need a hand?
We do. I'll be heading to market for the ingredients we need.
The other can assist me in researching how best to prepare.
Can we count on your aid?
Always. Well, if...
Thank you.
I am sure.
Shielding that guards against even the most ferocious flames.
We could have done with.
So, Clive, who will accompany you?
Very well. So then, what do we need?
I have taken the liberty of...
White chocobo eggs. Are you sure this list is right? I would have thought the ingredients would be a little...
Though these items may seem mundane, they have potent effects that are rarely so much so, in fact, that they were harvested almost to extinction. Hence moondews having fallen now, of course.
Is that so? I've been meaning to visit Northreach anyway. I'll set out now.
I will.
You two enjoy yourselves.
You too, Talia. Now, where's Jill?
Do you see anything you like? You've a keen eye. I'll be here if you need me.
There's talk that the glass gate flood.
How the hell is anyone supposed to have...
Keep them pilchards nice and chilled. I won't have...
Are those Pepio nuts?
How goes the hunt for ingredients?
I'm sure everything we need is somewhere amongst all these. Why don't we split up and see?
All right. What am I looking for?
How about you look for the Pepio nuts and some garlic? I'll find the other things we need. We can meet by the gate when we're finished.
Come! You'll not find a bruised...
Fresh cuts! Come and get them before the...
We haven't much, but you're free to look. Ah, yes. Good day.
What do you want? And?
That's everything. Let's see how Jill's getting on.
Did you find everything?
I did. Here.
Garlic and Pepio nuts. Perfect. Now all that remains is for Harpocrates to somehow turn all this into what Mid needs to keep her engine cool. But before we head back, would you walk with me a while? Thank you for asking me to help you today. It makes a nice change.
It does. It's good to get away from all the battle and bloodshed for once. Just being here reminds me of when we were children. Do you remember? Walking down Market Street in Rosalith, taking in the sights and smells.
How could I forget? What with Torgal's antics. Remember how his nose would prick up at the scent of sausages? He'd go, wouldn't catch you now.
Was there anything you wanted to buy for yourself while we're here?
There was, yes. Molly in the kitchens told me about a place that sells... Thought you might like to share one with me.
I would.
And I saw some bread. Big white cobs like the baker back in Ros... What do you think? I thought we might get some soup to dip it in. But then I tried a slice of the butcher's dry-cured ham and... It was just, oh,
You all right?
sorry. It's just, you're right. I really do feel like a child again being here with you. Clive, is it wrong of me to enjoy this?
No, Jill. This is how life should be. When we can live on our own.
Thank you. Well, I suppose we better be getting back. I need to give these ingredients to Harpocrates and Talia. I'll see you at the hideaway.
Take care.
I will. You too.
You all right, boy?
Faster!
Wonder how Hippocrates is getting on with the Moondew. How's work on the shielding
Well, very well. I was just explaining to Taya, and now that we have all the
You can count on me.
What about the shielding?
Work is underway.
Apparently, it'll...
Thank you.
Right then. Jill, would you join me in the infirmary? Many hands make... Of course.
Oh, and Clive, thank you. It was nice, just being with you.
It appears our work here... A shame. I was enjoying... When both the shielding and the Moondew are ready, it will merely be a matter of followed by a rigorous process of test. Perhaps someone ought to warn you.
Leave it to me. Thank you, Arbok. Well, I better go and give Mid the good news then.
The nobles to see the man who heard them. Editors started reading books that don't have any pictures.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mid. But you'll be pleased to know that work on the shielding is underway.
You found something for it?
In a manner of speaking, Hippocrates knew of a substance that's highly resistant to heat. A coating that should provide the protection you need. He's supervising the construction and testing of the shielding as we speak.
Brilliant! I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Don't thank me. I'm just the errand boy.
Right then, better start working out how to bolt all these bits together. To the Black Hammer!
You know, I thought I'd be making swords and shit.
Displacement stack.
Same difference. Whatever you call it, I ain't putting it together in here. Let's take this outside. Mid, you get all the parts lined up on the deck.
On my way!
Oh, and bring me the biggest hammer you can find. This is gonna require some precision walloping.
It's finished! It's finally finished!
Thank fuck for that. I'll be feeling my hammer arm for weeks.
Thank you. That's one down and just 3...
I'm sorry.
Oh, didn't I tell you? The Enterprise has 4 mithril engines and we'll be needing a displacement stack.
You don't mean...
Now they've got a finished one to work off. My gang...
Good luck to them, mate. Right, I'm off to get a sling for this elbow. Any other...
What's the matter?
Nothing. Thinking about the Enterprise sailing off over the horizon, searching for a land untouched by the Blight. So if the worst came to the worst and that's what she was meant to be. You see, but now she's so close to being... I don't want her to be just a life. I want people to sail aboard her by choice, not from the lack of it. In a world where we're not just trying to survive, but...
I'm working on that, and I'll do everything I can.
All right. As soon as the Enterprise is fit to sail, I'm putting her under your command. Sod our plans. I'm trusting in yours. Something tells me it's...
He'd be proud of
you.
I was. And you can come too, now that you're...
Right. There's just one thing I need to finish up first.
All right. I'll let Otto know.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Is that the thing Tomes helped to build? He said it was some sort of...
He cracked the crystal too? You're joking.
Hopefully it's nothing. What could be wrong with Torgor? Trouble. I got your note. You think something's...
So you can read. But I didn't say I were wrong with him. I said something weren't right. He's not been eating me. He used to love cracking the bones from Molly's boiled bread. Didn't like him. Which is why I'm of a mind. You've not been working him too hard, have you?
No harder than you. Is that it, boy? Do you need a rest?
What was it you said he was?
That's what the lawsman seemed...
Then maybe this all has something to do with whatever it is that's what.
I suppose things happen, differences. Perhaps Hippocrates knows something.
Instead of everything, you mean?
Lawsman, I need to ask you about Torgor. Something's not right with him.
He isn't ill, is he?
I don't think so. But according to Lady Karen, he seems to have lost his appetite, which is certainly a new development. She says he's hardly been touching his bones of late, and she believes... may have something to do with what happened.
I rather think she might be right. All canids are instinctively inclined to crack open, and I see no reason why a frost wolf should be any different. Accordingly, if we assume that his newfound magic's... It may well be that the Bones Lady Karen is accustomed to... Frost wolves, after all, habitually prey upon far larger animals, whose bones may yield altogether different... As to where one might find a suitable substitute, some antelopes that graze the meadows of eastern Rosaria have been known to grow to a size more than double that of their lesser cousins.
I don't recall ever seeing any that large.
And little wonder. The oldest and largest such creatures rarely leave the safety of the highlands. For the last elder antelope sighting I recall hearing about took place near Cressida.
Even so.
Good hunting.
The nobleman who visited.
Blackthorn.
Not really, no.
This won't take long. I just wanted to ask how you're getting on. And you might still be doubting your craft. Even after learning the trick of that cuirass. Perhaps sharing your thoughts.
That bastard's like... Still, you got a keen eye, I'll get... It's just, well...
And that was?
A sword. An odd-looking thing with a single-edged blade. The metal itself wasn't anything to write home about. You could slice a man clean in two with a weapon like that, and he'd be halfway home
So that's what's troubling.
No. Not troubling me exactly.
And if you knew how to do it, we could arm the curse breakers with even better blades.
That's about it.
I'll see what I can... Sharper swords are always welcome, and we can't have our master blacksmith...
You're a soft-touchy, but I can't say I'm not grateful.
Thank you. Let's see what Karen knows about this sword.
Is that the thing Tomes helped?
Mid told me she was building a ship.
Really? That's a ship? Let's see it.
Clive.
That's why I'm...
Shh. Oh, don't... A little. Listen. I've some bad news. It turns out, and it's... maybe sadly, that square. I can straighten it out, I swear, but I'm gonna need help keeping...
Bit late for that.
There you are! What?
So let me get this straight. You forget to pay our rent, and instead of coming straight, you get Clive to come to you. The man in charge of the place you've been cheerfully trying to bankrupt. Well?
Oh, just Martha. And the dame. And, well...
We owe 3 of our most trusted...
Each. They lent us the bulk of the money we used to rebuild the hideaway, you see, and, well, I must have made some sort of...
Those lodges will...
We have that much to hand?
No, we don't. And no, you won't. We've lightened Lord Ross after the King's ransom we had off him. He deserves better than to see it. Besides, we'll need to learn to stand on our own if we're gonna make this work.
All right. But that doesn't mean you have to... Is there anything I can do to help?
There might be. How'd you fancy taking these to Martha and the dame?
Rocks.
Rocks, he says. A little something Sid and I set aside for, and I reckon 15 million in overdue debt probably qualifies.
I'm sure there will be.
Should be. But you know how it is with this place. Orders to bark, asses to what?
I know.
Go. Do you know why I only gave Master Clive here 2 star rubies?
Because you'd rather Lady Karen killed me.
Because I'd rather Lady Karen killed you. Yes.
Well...
Don't worry.
Really?
No.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. Your benefactors are a generous lot. You earned this. Here you are. Come again. I may have more for you.
And how may I assist you today? How may I help you today? One must understand one's place in the world. Thus ends today's lesson.
Mid told me she was building a ship.
You're looking well.
What do you want?
I want to know about the sword you showed Blackthorn.
Running around after him again?
I suppose I am, yes. But I need to help.
Little wonder. There's not many like that make it as far as the twins, and those that do go which made it nice and easy for...
Can you tell me who bought it? Where is it?
You think I tell people who make... Suppose you're not likely to go, Nick. Fine. Lord Ignac's the man you want. Delmechian bloke. Collects weapons, and he's got more money than sense, which is why. Reckon he'll still be at the inn in Dallas.
Thank you, Karen.
Oh. And he's a touch eccentric.
I appreciate the...
Well, don't just stand there gawping. Finished, are you?
People take notice of wealthy men. Shouldn't be too hard to track down Karen's collector.
They're saying Drake's Fang is gone. The whole Mother Crystal gone.
My reputation will be ruined! Ruined!
Calm yourself, Lord Ignac, I beg of you, before you do yourself a...
Pardon the intrusion, but...
Out! Get out! I paid for these rooms so I wouldn't be...
Please. His lordship is going through a difficult time, and it...
Radim! Get rid of the filthy oaf!
Very good. Would you mind stepping outside?
I'm sorry if I've caused you...
That? Oh, no. That's just how his lordship... He has been dispossessed of his luggage, you see. The thieves also made a...
I don't suppose a certain blade was among... A single-edged sword.
Ah.
Then I'll retrieve Lord Ignac's luggage.
You have but to state it. You are...
Want an audience with Lord Ignac.
A condition I would be a fool to...
I don't suppose you saw where the thieves...
I did not, no. Every ill-gotten coin in Dalamal is said to pass...
And that's where I'm heading.
I shall speak to Lord Ignac in your absence.
That will be very kind.
Farewell.
Come on.
Got company! Come on, lads, let's tear the bastard's head off! Fire and flame! Help me, boy. Well done, Tom. This one. You're finished. Nice try. Over here! Wake up! Fire and flame! Garuda! Torgal, kill!
This must be Ignite. Nothing seems to be... All right.
I hear I have you. What shall I call you?
Wyvern. Glad to make...
A formidable. Well, Wyvern? Redeem here tells me you wished...
A few moments of your time.
You're a pick.
Master Wyvern was wondering if you could tell him about a certain...
Oh, true. Karen drove me hard on the price, but I would have sold her Radim here to get my hands... It was made in the Outer Isles, far beyond, and is used exclusively by the practitioners of a unique... They believe no combat should ever exceed a single strike. Each sword is made for that one perfect stroke, and for that stroke only. They crack upon a second blow. There's a brutal sort of...
But how do they hone such an...
Why, they use a whetstone of whetstones, rather. A whole array of them ranging from... But it is the final stone, a mineral, and that. Wyvern, it occurs to me that my little lecture is hardly... Take this, the very stone of which I spoke. Far rarer among collectors than... and a far more.
Thank you.
Pardon the intrusion, my lordship.
I am locked in bitter competition. I am one step ahead.
And there are many other...
Too many to count. But only one do I consider mine, and is a perennial... Farewell, Wyvern, Radim! We must...
I think his lordship is rather taken with you, Master Wyvern. Thank you again for your... Coming, my lordship.
Trust Uncle Byron to find... Now, let's see what Blackthorn...
There's talk at the glass gate.
Slavers don't even bother.
Look at this
Keep them
place.
pilchers nice and chilled.
How the hell is anyone supposed to afford that price?
Citizens are free to come and go as they please.
Did you hear? The gates to heaven hold in the air.
I want to see you again.
What am I going to do without sweet water and oil of talc?
Milady, I come bearing gifts.
Gifts? Whatever it... Oh.
Otto asked me to give it to you, to settle the hideaway, and to...
I thought you might finally be warming to me. Tell Otto he can keep his baubles. The man owes me nothing. My contribution to the restoration effort was made free.
You once told me Sid did you a cut. I'd like to do the same. And for Otto's. For all...
Otto is lucky. I doubt anything could ever replace his son. But you and the others at the height...
Otto had us.
Long and blamed himself for not being able to stop. I don't know how it happened. Whether there was anything he could...
I didn't know.
How could you have? Besides Sid, I've never met a man more keen. An ill habit. Given that both of all...
I'm beginning to see that.
Clive, we weren't expecting you.
I wasn't expecting to be here, but it seems we still owe you a considerable amount of coin for your help with our rebuilding efforts. And though I doubt it's what you were expecting, we were hoping you'd take this as payment.
A star ruby? I can't accept this. It's worth at least twice what you owe me. More if you can find yourself the right buyer.
Think of the difference as interest.
Interest? If word got out I charged that much... No one would ever borrow from me anyway. Why are you the one here asking me about this? I'd have expected Otto. Bit much sending the Lord Marquis out to settle your debts, isn't it? The old goat working himself to death again?
Something like that. Most days I think he's the only reason the hideaway's still standing.
Same as always, eh? Back when the place was nothing but a twinkle in the eye of a recently retired Lord Commander, word is he was the first one Sid reached out to. Probably knew that without his strong arm and level head, the idea would never get off the ground. Sid may have been the face of the hideaway, but Otto's always been the backbone. And when Sid passed away, we were all worried that would be the end of it. That Otto would just give up.
His death was hard on everyone. But it must have hit Otto hardest of all.
But he didn't give up, did he? Quite the opposite, in fact. If I recall, he was the one who nominated you as Sid's replacement, and rallied the rest around you. I reckon what he saw in Sid, he saw in you too. And don't we all? Doesn't hurt that you're half as stubborn and twice as handsome, neither. That, and you keep good company.
I suppose I'd... Gob will want to know the stones were delivered, if he's still with us. This is no time to ride. Let's go. Run like the wind. Certainly quiet. If I were a giant antelope, it would seem like just the place. I doubt we'll find one bigger than that. You hungry, Torgal? Now... will it be enough, I wonder? I say that answers my question, which means we owe the lawsman our thanks. You're just a big puppy, aren't you? You do know you can take that with you, Torgal. Lady Karen will be relieved to hear you've got your appetite back.
I noticed you and Torgal. So, Molly's leftovers weren't good enough, eh? That'll teach me for treating you like you're still a pup. All right, now we know what you're after. I can see.
Speaking of which, I brought one for later.
You can, aye. In return, you can thank...
I was just on my way.
He cracked the crystal too? You're joking.
It's no joke.
Sorry for the wait, but hopefully you'll agree.
You learned something about...
I did better than... What? Yes.
No wonder I couldn't get one hit, and it might not be so bad if all you ever fought were duels. Good luck on the battlefield. Your second opponent would be your last number.
Even so, is there...
I think so, yeah. With this whetstone and the right kind of steel, I could, but there'd be no replacing this little rock once I worn it down to a sliver. I reckon we get a dozen swords from it, if that. Swords that the curse breakers wouldn't know how to wield properly, and that would see them through a sink. Nah. No point trying to copy that thing. Be about as much use as a wax anvil. But finishing our blades with a whetstone this fine, now that's something to consider. And what's finer than fallen masonry, eh? Or more, just imagine it. Good Valisthian steel with... I won't make a copy, nah.
I'm sure the curse breakers will be just...
No, I've been working day and night since I was half your age. And I was... Hey, I owe you one. August 2.
You'll be happy to hear.
And I'll see that my debt to you's paid. First, you come and find me when you've got the material.
Right?
Back, are ya? What do you want?
Were you able to locate...
We were indeed, Lawsman. You pointed us in exactly the right direction.
Very good.
Lady Karen sends her thanks, by the way. For your...
Ah. But that reminds... Do you recall our conversation concerning Lady Jill's role?
About how she somehow...
Precisely that. A reasonable conclusion, I thought. But one which raised certain... The Fenrir of legend served Shiva, and while the powers attributed to him are certainly impressive, the records imply they are somewhat...
What are you suggesting?
That Torgal may be the beneficiary of more than one icon's power. Consider that in addition to Lady Jill, he has served as a loyal companion to you, your brother, and even the late Cid. In short, the icons hitherto near at hand, or should I say at port, and that number has only grown as the realm. One can but speculate as to how all of this has affected.
He has seemed more... fear.
And if I am not mistaken, he will grow fiercer still. We are fortunate.
Is that the thing Tomes helped to build?
Mid told me she was building a ship.
Go, so Lady...
Ah, but she was just... She threw it...
Karen... Lady Karen, Goad tells me you weren't happy with our offer. Would you prefer the debt was repaid in coin?
What debt? I don't recall lending any of you like my hard-earned gil. I may have tossed a talent or two in the Hideaway's coffers, but those were donations, and you can hardly call it charity if you go asking for it back.
Of course not. But one good turn deserves another. And our circumstances have changed. Surely you wouldn't shun the gratitude of a pauper who...
Oh, so you're fine. But I'm selling it and taking what I'm owed, then you're getting the rest with... Where'd you even get this? A canny one, meanwhile. Might be I already. It might be you even know her. The fine continental maid whose beauty's own. You wouldn't mind, would you?
Not at all.
I hear you ended up delivering all 3 stones. Thanks to this lump. I sometimes wonder what
Speaking of which, I still haven't...
Oh! So you remember what's owed to you, then? Get your ass behind that disc of yours and...
Right away.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. It was the only goblet Sid ever used. Either out of habit...
I knew so little about him. Martha and the Dame both seem to have fond memories of him.
I bet they do.
How long did you know Sid before he...
Before he died? Back in the day, I was a purser on a trade ship. Which is where I met him. He bought passage to... I forget where. We set up drinking island rum till the morning bell dragged me back to quit my post not long after that. On account of making a fine maiden's belly fat, but me and Sid stayed close. Promise. That was... before fate stepped in. And said she was having none of it. The magic woke inside my son soon after his first name day. And
couldn't you and your family have...
My family... were the ones who summoned the monster. I couldn't turn my back on him, and I couldn't for the life of me understand how they could. Luckily, it was him who stood beside me when... him who cried for me, him who swore he'd do everything he could. And he was true to his word, too. Left the Royal Army once and for all. His ranks, his ribbons, threw away everything he had. All to right a wrong that no one else had. I knew then I'd follow that man. He was always too clever for his own good, was Sid. Saw the world for what it really was, while the rest of us were content to go along with the lie we were shown. And it can't have been easy, bearing that burden alone. But he didn't let it stop him. He never lost faith in what he believed was right. And that gave us faith in him. Faith he'd steer us true. So I swore to myself that I'd always be right behind him, ready to catch the stubborn sod, if ever he should fall. But I couldn't even do that. Ignore me. Just the ramblings of a tired old man. Leave that lot. I'll tidy it up in a bit.
This is Sid's handwriting. Dear Otto.
I may be drunk, but I wanted you to know this place would be fucked without you. Love you, you grumpy old sod.
This note.
Hmm? What about it?
Sid was right. Without you, we'd all be lost.
He should have bloody well said so then. Just once. Before he went. But then, why would he? Him, or anyone? I'd only have told him to piss off. You're wrong, though. Both of you. It was never just me keeping the hideaway afloat. It was all of us. I just shoved people in the right direction, and I barely seem to be able to do that anymore.
Would you rather go at the helm?
Well, maybe I've got a few more years left in me.
I'm going to hold you to that, Otto.
Before you go, Sid would have wanted you to have this.
But that's...
This'll do me just fine. Thanks for the ray of sunshine. I'll see if I can't pay you back.
Already have.
All right, Clive. We'd finished sending half the hideaway traipsing across the twins, has she? No, excuses.
Not quite. She said
that.
She...
Clive, were you born yesterday or something? She'll probably be halfway to Ken.
Mid.
Mid told me she was building a ship.
Is that the thing Tomes helped with?
Obolus, have you seen Mid?
Yep. You in a hurry and all, are ya? Oh, I offered to take her across, but... but anyway, I was got a letter. Urgent, by the sound of it. One of your uncle's men said I was to hand it.
Thank you, Obolus.
Don't mention...
What tidings, Uncle? Trouble in Canva. Well...
So what? Mid got us to do all the dirty work and then just sailed off into the sunset?
It, seems that way.
Well, the next time you plan on visiting Sid, you might want to tie her to something before you suggest it.
Ah, don't be so hard on her. Gotta admit, the dirty work was kind of just like when we built this. Anyway, we all set to head to the old hideaway. Wouldn't do to keep Lord Rosfield of the Seven High Houses.
Gav will be leaving with me. Will you mind the place while I go?
You can count on me. Just be sure to give Sid and the others more.
Oh, by the way, Jill will be joining. She's got some things to take care of.
I hope she's telling the truth at least. Cid. I remember what you told me. That if no one is listening to what you have to say, you may as well not say it. But I will say this, old friend. Hugo Kuka is gone. His shadow looms over us no longer.
It's a pity the Phoenix can't be in two places at once. If he'd have been with us, maybe he could have done something for the lost.
Not even the Phoenix can bring people back from the dead. Life has a beginning and an end. So we must live while we have the chance. And not as slaves to the crystals, but as free men.
May we join you?
Lady Karen, what a pleasant surprise.
I thought I'd drop by and see how you were all doing before heading off to restock my supplies. It wasn't the most scenic view back then, but it were never as bad as this.
I know. The Blight marches on. And soon, there will be no escaping sights like these. So our mission remains unchanged. We cannot stop until every Mother Crystal is gone, and their thirst for ether with them. The only one that remains in Storm is Drake's Tail in the Crystalline Dominion.
Our next target.
We're going to Twinside.
It's the capital of the Empire these days. I wouldn't like to think how tightly guarded they've got the place. Not that that'll stop you. But we do well to scout it out before you go charging in.
We would indeed.
If you're off to the Dominion, you can take this great lump with you.
Goods.
Oh, I am sorry. Have you forgotten you're the most wanted man in the Twins? I thought you might like to disguise yourselves as the attendants of a travelling trader, assuming you've no better ideas. You wanted to buy yourself some tools, didn't you? Well, now's your chance.
You're letting me go? With them? Oh, thanks, Nan!
Stop that! You'll break me bones, you great galoot! There's a caravan that runs back and forth between the Dominion and the Bocklad markets. It's managed by the Merchants Guild. Just show them Goots' traders pass and you'll be on your way. It'll be a damn sight less risky than footing it the length of the Crystal Road. That's for sure.
Thank you, Karen. And glad to have you with us, Goots.
Okay then. I'll get me things and I'll meet yous there. See yous down in Bocklad.
Get off! Me poor fingers!
Jill, you're with me.
Understood.
And Gav?
Already on my way, Captain.
Be careful.
Aren't I always?
Do you see that, Sid? Your protege's making a proper little outlaw of himself.
How are you feeling?
Better. Thanks to Taya.
I'm glad to hear it.
And Torgal helped too. Didn't you, boy?
This used to be a trade route for merchants crossing the Scars, till the Republic laid a new road wide enough to let wagons pass, and all official traffic moved there.
Leaving this one for those living outside the law.
Indeed. I doubt... We'll be the only outlaws on the trail today. Time to fight.
Kill!
So what do you think?
Really?
Oh, aye.
I take it there's...
Oh, what about this fearsome-looking fellow?
Oh, no doubt. Well met, friend.
How does a merchant miss...
Oh, the man's a coward. When he thought goblins might come a-snarling, he ran.
He sent the two of us to fetch it once.
My brother's right on all
We made...
Well, if I'm going to have to deal with it...
You've clearly got a fine head on.
We're lucky you... Now, hoping to make a heavy putt, reckon he won't...
All right.
No. You just put an end to those bandits and point...
I'm not sure I trust those two. But if there are bandits lying in wait, I should probably take care of them.
Look lively, you lot. We've got guests.
These must be our bandits.
All yours, Torgal.
Nice try.
All yours, Torgal.
Too slow. Nice try. That's them dealt with. Now, where's that cart? Getting all of this out of it.
Seems we've found...
Found the cart and didn't leave a single bastard breed.
And how exactly will you be getting...
You leave that to us. After all, it'd be wrong.
You've done your part. It's been a pleasure.
There's no need to be... What if we wanted...
I see the Dalmex lag behind Rosaria when it comes to bridge building.
The fallen ruin should hold, at least. The path continues on the other side. So this is Zemeckis.
The land of the gods. It's even more impressive than I imagined. I remember being captivated by the story as a child.
Long, long ago, man was overcome by avarice and challenged the gods in a bid to win their power. The final battle took place here, at these falls. Or so the legend goes. If anyone ever manages to plumb those depths, perhaps we'll learn if there's any truth to the tale.
That the gods emerged victorious and punished man for his defiance by visiting upon him 2 curses.
Dominance and bearers. To tell the truth, I always thought it strange that the dominant and their icons were deemed a curse. Back home, the dominant inherited the throne. They were admired and exalted, not spurned. Whenever I got to that part of the story, I always assumed there must be something I'd misunderstood.
You had a lot of storybooks, didn't you? In your room, I mean. When we were young.
The old legends were always my favorites. Epic battles between gods and men. Father encouraged me to read as much as I could. He thought it good for my education.
You really were a boy like any other, weren't you?
Just look at this place. It's enough to make you believe the legends are true.
I know.
We're not far from Boklad. The road will be busier up ahead.
Then we'll have to keep our wits about us. Clive? Something wrong?
Nothing. It's nothing.
I see the reports are true, Father. You have surrendered the throne to Olivier.
I have. Emperor Olivier shall rebuild the Holy Empire of Sanbreque.
How is he to rule an empire? He is but a boy.
I shall advise him until he comes of age.
Father, please.
Or for as long as I am able. The empire we seek to build needs young blood to rule it, and I can think of none better suited to the task. There is other news, Dion. Hugo Kupka is dead, and Drake's Fang destroyed. The pillars of the Republic have fallen. Ere long, the Imperial banner shall fly over every city in Storm. And then, Valisthea. All shall bow before their Emperor.
Father, these are the words of a tyrant.
They are the words of a god. The Emperor whom I gladly serve. Great Grieger, made flesh. Return to your camp, Dion, and ready your forces. It is time to show the world the true power of Sanbreque.
Father. I find you much changed. Is this truly the path you wish to tread? Or are these the ambitions of another? Of Ultima, perhaps?
What nonsense is this? I speak my mind, and my mind only. Though I do owe Annabella thanks for reminding me of certain truths regarding the nature of nations, of rulers, and of the divine.
You trust the words of this traitress? She betrayed her country. She slew her husband.
You have ever been an invaluable servant to Sambrek, Prince Dion. I trust you will continue to serve your Emperor in the wars to come.
The canker! Silence! Insolent wretch! You will bend the knee. All else is heresy.
Sire, forgive me.
This audience is over. Come, your Radiance. The Rowena Syndicate awaits your pleasure.
Oh, not another meeting with silly old men. They're so boring. I'm hungry, Father. Can't we have luncheon instead?
Does it pain you that you will not inherit your father's throne?
I have suffered worse.
Count your blessings, Dion. For a base-born child to be chosen by Bahamut is miracle enough. You have risen high on his wings, but you shall rise no higher, lest your impure blood stain the throne.
What do you know of my blood?
The Boklab markets are to the north. We just need to hug the coast.
Infiltrating the Dominion won't be easy with the Imperials on high alert.
No. His Radiance has lost one capital already. We can be sure Sylvester will do everything in his power to hold on to Twinside. His troops are well-trained and increasingly battle-hardened. But it's not as if we can wait for the siege to end.
Fly abroad.
More refugees.
And they're all making for the crystalline dominion.
Because they don't know how to live without the crystal's blessing.
I can walk from here.
This is where we're supposed to meet Goots, isn't it?
That's right. He said he'd wait for us here after replenishing his supplies. I dare say he'll have finished by now.
Water for hire. Best service.
What do you think, girl?
This is everything.
Let me carry your goods. I'm cheap.
What are you looking for? Many thanks. You've a discerning eye. Farewell.
Out of my sight, wretch.
Peaches and pears.
Wonders from across the water. Come one, come all. Feast your eyes. Good sir, can I interest you in...
How much? For a measly crust of bread?
You won't find any cheaper. Not nowadays. You're more than welcome to look.
The Empire's unlawful and illegitimate occupation of the crystalline dominion is still in effect. Only those whose business in Twinside has been officially approved by the Republican Army will be permitted to cross the border. All who seek entry are to form a line and ready their documents for inspection.
Looks like we aren't the only ones who are eager to leave.
And they're checking everyone.
Can't you make an
Not for the likes of you.
We won't get through without that pass. Let's go and find Gooch, shall we? He must be around here somewhere.
Come, taste my peaches. They're sweet as nectar.
You won't find anything of this quality in Twinside.
Juicy pears.
Ah, good. There you are.
Clive, I'm so sorry. Don't tell Nan, will you?
Slow down, Goots. Just tell us what happened.
It's me trader's pass. It's gone. We cannot ride the caravan without it. We won't even be able to get through the flipping checkpoint.
Do you remember when you last saw it?
It was in my pocket a minute ago. Then a bairn bumped into me and... Yeah. You don't think that they might have nicked it, do you?
It wouldn't surprise me. A busy market like this is prime territory for pickpockets.
So, to get the pass back, we need to find this child. Where would we even start?
I know where! I've got a pal in Bocklad who might be able to help us. No one knows more about what goes on round here than she does.
Where do we find her?
She's the owner of the Crimson Caravans, up that way. Sign's got a red chocobo on it.
No time like the present.
You two go on ahead. I'm gonna check the rest of my stuff, make sure naught else is missing.
All right. We'll meet you there.